What's happening? We're this is a live stream. Yeah, because Facebook and YouTube both were so jam packed with live streaming people that we've been put in the waiting room permanently. So we're just recording this, and I'm going to upload it when we're done in an hour. So it's right now. If you want to pretend you're in real time, how's your quantum physics? What quantum realm are you in? It is 7:29 p.m. Central Standard Time and 8:29 p.m. Eastern, and do the math from there. 5:30 on the West Coast, but these two guys are in the Eastern time zone. Is it dark over there?
It's just getting so.
Yeah, same here. What about you, Darren? Same?
Yeah, I think I'm probably about 3 minutes behind Shenandoah. So.
Yeah, okay, about
Sunset.
3 minutes. So everything's relative. I was listening to the beginning of an audiobook today about the science behind science fiction by a woman who went and got this really massive advanced degree in all kinds of physics related stuff, and then decided to just lecture at sci-fi conventions, and because she's a huge Star Trek and Star Wars fan and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to have to listen to the whole first chapter again, because none of it sunk in, and it was totally in layman's terms, but none of it sunk in. So here we are in episode 4, The New Hope, or The Voyage Home.
A New Hope.
Since I made references to Star Trek and Star Wars, of GBA Saves the Day in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020. I was recording my podcast episode 19 yesterday with 3 people who'd been on it previously, and we were talking about past earth-shaking stuff, and everybody's talking about the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic. I just want to clarify, the reason it's called the Spanish flu, it's not Spain's fault. Spain was neutral during World War One, so they were the only ones reporting the death toll, because all the other countries wouldn't do that. It would make them look weak. So it really actually started in Haskell, Kansas. So it was the 1918 Haskell, Kansas influenza pandemic. So they could totally use that in Haskell, Kansas. Maybe it's good for tourism. I don't know. People go where the atom bomb.
I read an interesting. Yeah, I read an interesting story about the Spanish flu. Philadelphia was actually a major, focal point of the whole thing, because we decided, I say we, people in Philadelphia decided it would be better to have all the parades and march the soldiers through town and everything on their way to battle, rather than shelter in place.
Which is what St. Louis
everybody
did.
Came out and got sick.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
St. Louis. We learned about that in Chicago when our mayor told us to stay home, and she brought somebody from the CDC out who gave exactly that example. She said, in 1918 when the Spanish flu pandemic happened, St. Louis decided to shelter in place and have fewer deaths. But Philadelphia thought it was, this is the way she put it. I was like, wow, got it out for Philadelphia. Philadelphia thought it'd be a good idea to go ahead and march all the troops through town anyway.
Well, Henry VIII survived the Black Plague by sequestering in place and beheading wives. So,
yeah, I don't know if the beheading wives against the plague.
No, and I don't suggest that as a pastime, but
for those of you
Does that
who
keep the disease away?
We're not medical professionals, so we can't tell you with any certainty whether beheading wives prevents the plague. We're sure that sheltering in place can help prevent the additional spread of the existing pandemic and possibly the Haskell, Kansas influenza outbreak. So who wants to play a song first? You want me to start it?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh,
Yeah, Phil, why don't you start?
okay.
Oh, he's going to play rock, paper, scissors.
Because then y'all can think about it. All right. And I'm gonna. I've got my Spire Studio. It's
Ooh, that's
fill-proof.
Sound from that was great. If that's what you recorded on the other day.
Just push.
Yeah, I just push that button.
Yeah.
First, I do a sound check.
The circle.
Yeah, so I go sound check. Nah. Okay, sound check. Setting your levels and sculpting your sound. There we go. Vocals and guitar. So now I'm gonna hit record. It's the red button, right? I'm sorry, Shenandoah. Did I just do a West Virginia? That was rude.
Oh,
What do people? Anybody like who doesn't sound like Dan Rather is fair game. If you're trying to sound dumb, you use somebody else's accent. It's amusing. I wonder if in England do they do that? If they want to sound dumb, they sound like an American.
exactly.
Yeah.
Totally.
If
You know that's
well.
funny.
I guess that's fair too, because if we want to sound snooty, we do a British thing.
Yeah.
Do a Cockney thing. I don't know.
It's fair. It's fair
Cockney
game.
is sort of badass, isn't it?
Exactly. It's like, rum tum tugger kind of look, a little bit rough, isn't it?
In it.
And whatever he said. And now, once again, another disclaimer: we are not linguists. We're just musicians. All right, here goes. This is by Genesis, post Peter.
Janice.
Stay with me, my love. I hope you'll always be right here by my side if ever I need you. Oh, my love, in your arms I feel so safe and so secure every day. It's such a perfect day to be alone with you. I will follow you if you follow me. All the days and nights that we know will be, I will stay with you if you stay with me. Just one single tear in each passing year. With the dark I see so very clearly now. All my fears are drifting by me so slowly now, fading away. I can say the night is long, but you are here, close at hand. I'm better for the smile you give. While I live, I will follow you if you follow me. All the days and nights that we know will be, I will stay with you if you stay with me. Just one single tear in each passing year. Stay with me, my love. I hope you'll always be. Genesis.
Right
Genesis.
here by my side. If ever I need. I am a huge Genesis fan.
Are you?
Listen.
I don't know if you know that. But
I don't. I am too, really. And I saw Phil Collins, but he wasn't with Genesis or solo. He was playing drums for Roger Waters with Eric Clapton on guitar.
oh my gosh.
It was right after the Wall album by Pink Floyd. Right after Roger Waters left Floyd, he did a solo album called The Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking.
Bonds, yeah.
And he had Eric Clapton on guitar and Phil Collins on drums. The whole first set was his new album at the time, And then after that, it was Pink Floyd with Eric Clapton on guitar and Phil Collins on drums. It was all right, but they did Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun as a 12-bar blues, and my bass player and dear friend Lem, if you bring that up, he starts gritting his teeth and throwing things. Figuratively, he's not really that way. But,
well, Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun is not at all 12-bar blues.
Oh, but it was Eric Clapton, so it was just something to do, I guess. And that was one of the 3 times I saw Eric Clapton. The 3rd time was at the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, and the seats were so bad, if I didn't know his music, I wouldn't have been able to tell anything that was being played. And so I never went to a major venue concert ever again after that. Never like a stadium or something, you know. If it's not a theater, I don't go. So I saw Bob Dylan at the Auditorium or the Chicago Theater, Auditorium Theater here. Instead of some huge venue, and that, you know, so if they're not playing a smaller venue, I don't see them anymore because I was just so disgusted by that.
Yeah, Seconds Out. So Genesis's live album Seconds Out, which is from late 70s, I think, is my favorite live album ever. And actually, I think I've actually read people who have said it's their favorite live album. They don't even like Genesis.
Oh wow! Yeah, that says.
I mean, it's. I listened to that album for a year, basically just on a loop in my little CD Discman in 1996.
CD Discman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Shenandoah, what's your favorite live album?
My favorite live album. I've got a copy of Bruce Hornsby, Here Come the Noisemakers. It's an amalgamation of 97, 98, 99, and I think it's got some of their best cuts, some of their best versions. I've seen Bruce 2 or 3 times. One of the first times was when I was about 2, and another time was when my mom's boyfriend took her, and I was about 12, and he said, there's no way this kid's going to sit through Bruce Hornsby, and I'm sitting there singing every damn word, like, oh yeah, come on, Rainbow's Cadillac, and I was all in it. So, and I actually just tried to force myself to play Bruce Hornsby earlier because I felt I needed some punishment.
Yeah.
I have one of the greatest live rock and roll albums is the Who Live at Leeds.
Yes.
And it partly because it creates sort of it's good for the ethnomusicologist because you hear the beginning of punk rock, you hear jam band stuff going on, you hear Zeppelin going on before, you know, and they were on that tour for like 2 years that they pulled Live at Leeds from, and that was just like the one that where everything didn't break, you know. The stories, you know, so that was the one that they kept. And I saw the Who live a few times too, and they're extraordinary. They're one of those groups that was even better live, and they would extend stuff like Live at Leeds. But from the more nostalgic standpoint, I saw Rush live on the tour that they pulled their Exit Stage Left album from, and I think that's probably one of my favorite live albums without a doubt. But as far as like the Sony, the Discman, you know, listening over and over again to your Genesis live, that's what I did with the Who on a cassette when I was in 8th grade.
Had Bob Marley's Live at the Lyceum on cassette, and I wore that bugger out.
Yeah, I bet, man. Who's up for a song? Who's next?
I'll go third because I'm going to do like a kind of a mashup of 2 songs, and it's going to be long, so that can be very good.
Cool. All right, I'll do. Then I'll hop on. I've been spending a couple of days kind of relearning this one. I actually sat down the other night and watched a movie with Bill Murray, Rock the Casbah, 2015. Great film. It was just the inspiration and the uplifting message that I needed, you know, in this crazy madness time. About a Pashtun singer who tries out for Afghan Star and makes it, and it was based on the real story of a girl who went on Afghan Star and actually, you know, had the courage to do that. So this is a tune by Yusuf Islam, Cat Stevens. I think we could all use this right now. I happy lately, thinking about the good things to come. And I believe it could be something good has begun. 'Cause out on the edge of darkness, there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take me home again. I've been smiling lately, thinking about the good things to come. And I believe it could be something good has begun. Peace train sounding louder, ride on the peace train. Oh, this is the peace train. Peace train, holy roller, everyone jump on the peace train. Yeah, this is the peace train. Now I've been crying lately, thinking about the world as it is. Why must we go on hating? Why can't we live in bliss? 'Cause out on the edge of darkness, there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take me home again. I will find living, it's not so far from you, and it's getting nearer. Soon it will all be true. Peace train sound in my life, ride on the peace train. Say, yeah, this is the peace train. This is the peace train. I've been smiling lately, thinking about the things to come. And I believe it could be something good has begun. 'Cause out on the edge of darkness, there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take me home again. Peace train sounding louder, ride on the peace train. Yeah, this is the peace train. Now, come on the peace train. Say, yeah, yeah, this is the peace train.
Yeah.
Can't play that one without crying usually, so I had to.
Oh yeah,
A little bit.
Yeah, man. Good stuff.
It's
Good
tasty.
choice. You told me you were working on that, getting that ready. I'm glad you did it. Darren?
I'm in.
All right.
I'm gonna play a. You know this about me already, the two of you, and probably some of the people who will watch this. That I like to blend my original songs together with cover songs. That, you know, sometimes in shows I tell people that I do that so that they can like re-engage when they hear a familiar song. But really, it's I'm blending these with. I'm blending my original songs with songs that were sort of the inspiration, one way or the other, with for them. And so I know a song of mine, is I wrote on guitar and kind of structured the fingering of the chords in a very kind of open way that I realized was very similar to this Switchfoot song called Dare You to Move. And so very often I play them kind of together, I match them together and stuff. Today I'm going to play them on the piano because I have a piano with me. And
All right.
Mix it up a little bit.
We're gonna have to get. That's the other thing we're gonna have to get. You know, before we didn't go live and then went live, the way we're going live. Darren and I were, and we're waiting on Shenandoah. Darren and I were talking about how quick you could spend a ton of money setting up a live stream thing, and we got all the way to the point where it's like, sorry, hon, we're not getting that second car. You know, because I need a third bedroom just for live streams and a 48-inch screen, and you know. And now one other thing, you need more than one camera because you need to be able to switch camera angles, right? So while you're playing, we can have a camera on your hands on the piano like they do, you know. And then you have to hire somebody who can switch for you, you know.
Toggle, yeah, toggle from behind.
That's what you call it. See, I'm not film guy. I don't know. We let Shannon know if it's that. So, and while you're playing, I'm gonna step over here real quick. Okay, so I haven't gone anywhere. All right, I just have to.
Piano music does that to you, Phil. You have to run to the next room.
No, I just have to step in the other room. So I'll be right here. I can hear it.
So the viewers will have to trust that my fingers are actually playing this and I'm just not clicking play on a backing track.
Right.
I think it'll be really obvious that this is not a perfect backing track when I start playing. But yeah, I'm just doing this. Right. Does it look like I'm playing?
Yeah, totally.
So this is I Know I by me. Cool. It mashed up with Dare You to Move by Switchfoot.
Awesome.
Dispense with a small talk. Break out of your little box. Bend, don't break. Don't break. It's not enough to think small. Satisfied not to fall. Keep looking up, looking up, looking up, looking up. I know, gonna make it. Let's go. I know the risk is worth taking. Take it. Be what you become, man. That will always be there. Just show them all. Show them all. Show them all. Show them all. I know, we're gonna make it. Let's go. I know the risk is worth taking. Take it. I know, we're gonna make it. Let's go. I know the risk is worth taking. Take it. Whatever made you believe it's not me. Whoever tells you out loud it can't be. When you're so tired, you just simply can't see. Remember, I know. Remember, I know. I know. We're gonna make it. Let's go. I know the risk is worth taking. Take it. I know. We're gonna make it. Let's go. I know the risk is worth taking. Take it. Take it, love. Welcome to the planet. Welcome to existence. Everyone's here. Everyone's here. Everybody's watching you now. Everybody waits for you now. What happens next? what happens next. I dare you to move, I dare you to move, I dare you to lift yourself up off the floor. I dare you to move, I dare you to move, like today never happened, today never happened before. Welcome to the fallout. Welcome to resistance. The tension is here. The tension is here. Between who you are and who you could be. Between how it is and how it should be. Yeah. I dare you to move. Dare you to move. I dare you to lift yourself up off the floor. I dare you to move. I dare you to move. Like today never happened. Today never happened. Maybe redemption, stories to tell. Maybe forgiveness is right where you fell. Where can you run to escape from yourself? Where you gonna go? Where you gonna go? Salvation is here. I dare you to move. I dare you to move. I dare you to lift yourself up off the floor. I dare you to move. I dare you to move. Like today never happened. Today never happened before.
Aaron Jellison.
Ta-da.
All right.
Yay.
It's a good thing I'm mute when you're playing because I'm sitting over here singing along.
Just wailing along. You have to. If you know it, you got to wail it out.
So, I will just real quick give the appropriate plug for Guilt by Association Records. At patreon.com/GBA Records, you can learn about becoming a patron. That means that you are helping fund the record label because the artists on the label do not pay any fees or commissions to the label. It is funded entirely by subscriptions to the label that get you stuff and give you the feeling of satisfaction that you are contributing to the arts. Much the way you would if you were going to the opera, but you don't have to wear a tuxedo. Not that anybody does anymore, anyway. Operas. Did you guys ever get to an opera or get to the operas? Or
No, we actually had
Never been
free.
to an opera.
We had some tickets to one, but we weren't able to go because it was right about the time that everything started shutting down.
wow, that's too bad. Which one was?
Yeah.
Do you remember which one it was, Shenandoah?
Whichever one was at the Met in March. I'm not sure. It wasn't like La Boheme or Tosca or any of the ones that I would be able to, or like Marriage of Figaro. It wasn't anything that I would know offhand. But
It was none of the
exactly,
hits.
you know,
Yeah.
Carmen.
I was, my mom produced operetta, so I was and wrote for the Chicago Symphony and Lyric Opera program notes and things. So I sat through many an opera, and I remember when I was, I don't know, I had to be 5 or 6 years old. She took me to La Boheme, and I had to sit still, and somehow I did. I don't know. guess it was just entrancing. It was all so much, going on and so powerful and stuff. But and people talk about people, people falling asleep and everything at the opera, and like they must not be interested. But what's funny is when I was older and I'd go, or she'd give up her tickets, like, I can't go. You want to go? Take somebody? Sure. I'd be in box number 5 at the Lyric Opera, and one of the other people in the box was William Warfield, who was in the 1951 movie Showboat. He's the guy that made Old Man River famous. He would be almost always be asleep in the box number 5 through every opera that I was there. William Warfield, sweet man too. I mean, great guy and stuff. But he'd just be over. He'd get 20 minutes in, he's just out. He's just there out of obligation. I don't know. And so I was like, yeah, you can't tell me about how bad it is to fall asleep at the opera.
He knows Act 1 of every opera he's ever seen.
Yeah, maybe that was it. He'd seen enough of him. He was married to Leontine Price too. So both of them were groundbreaking people because he was African-American male in a lead role in 1951 in a movie, and she was one of the first African-American opera stars, and stuff. So, but yeah. So I guess I'll do another one now. While you guys think about what you want to do, I'll do a mashup of 2 Phil Circle songs. I'm recording my songs today to my Spire Studio. I already showed it earlier. It's about that big. I hit a button and it records. I'm using the onboard mic, but you can plug in directly and stuff. But I demoed one of these at the CD Baby DIY convention last year, 2019, in Austin, Texas, and I was just like, I got to get one, and I finally did. And so, in the spirit of also supporting musicians, especially at this time, people who see this at any time, there will be in the links or description where you can send tips. And if you send a tip and you want your own special private copy of one of these songs that I played today, just say so. Shoot me a message and say, hey, I threw a tip in there. Send me Follow You, Follow Me, or send me those tunes by you, because I don't expect to necessarily remember the names of all mine. There's nothing you can say to dissuade or convey any reason anywhere or anyone who wouldn't care what you're doing. You're through with them. You were on a corner trading them a gun. Here's your pride. Alone, you're a clone in a circus of pessimism, degradation. Each station is closing down in a town where no one is giving, nothing forgiving, leaving nothing but rations on the soul. You concur with your anger, stranger to reason. The season is ending in a cold and even song. They decry you and defy you. The living are fighting for, dying to be buried, and you doubt it matters. Blood and spatters is drying in the creases of your weary hand. concur with your anger, stranger to reason. The season is ending. You're dreaming of something beautiful. You're waking in shadows and cold. I think you know life as it used to be. A recollection, a faded old stain. In a blur you concur with your anger, stranger to reason. The season is ending, banishment and cold. Your heart is old, and you're bleeding from your essence and beginnings. Prescience is pinning you down in the town. No one is giving, nothing forgiving, leaving nothing but rations on the soul. In a blur you concur with your anger, stranger to reason. The season is ending. Distance life from your grip and letting you go. Backing down from battlegrounds of dissonance, turned around experiments in life and love and hate. Rarely been through, but always took the bait. Reeled in for a prize upon the wall. Hear the sound of baying hounds of visionaries, tearing down the rudiments of everybody's fate. Like a fender on a broken car, knocked around, driven too far to stand alone for another day. Always ask but I never know. Always ask but I never know. Always ask, I never know what to say. So I'm backing down. Falling down a broken path, the bells they ring, the trumpets sound heralding the nothing king. The walls they crumble like broken souls, the vines are choking the kings of old. The ground is cracked, the taste of water, foreign as the light of day. They always ask, but I never know. Always ask, I never know. Always ask, I never know what to say. So I'm backing down. Don't look to me for answers now. A wounded sage can't tell you how. With wisdom falls some battle cries that lead you to no greater heights. Lean hard into the warmth of life. Spend your time on love. Lean hard into the warmth of life. Spend your time on love. Spend your time on love. Backing down from battlegrounds of dissonance. Turned around experiments in life and love and hate. Rarely been through, but always took the bait. Reeled in for a prize upon the wall. They always ask, but I never know. Always ask, but I never know. Always ask, I never know what to say. So I'm backing down, backing down. Lean hard into the warmth of life. Spend your time on love. Lean hard into the warmth of life. Spend your time on love.
Very, very nice. What was the name of that first one, Phil?
Nothing you can say.
Nothing you can say. That sounded a lot like I have a Genesis anthology book in my bookshelf over here. I pulled one out because I was like, that sounds like something. That sounds like Madman Moon that Tony Banks wrote for Genesis.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, Shenandoah knows.
Yeah, I can hear that.
I ripped it off. You can actually see the book in the background there with a 1970s hairstyle and turtleneck of Christopher Parkening guitar method. So in there is an exercise I've taught hundreds of students that starts with so I just it's a popular guitar classical guitar progression. So yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
maybe he did the same thing, you know, because that book was like published in 1976 or something, you know. But that's what
similar era. Although Tony's the keyboard player, so maybe he heard it and went,
Yeah, it's got a cool kind of thread as to the you know, the one note descending through all the, you know, the pivots and stuff. Yeah, so it's but that's what I got. See, songwriting, folks, doesn't have to be a great big mystery. We all take from places like Darren, the mashup you did there. You said the other songs, sometimes you put songs together that influenced your song, you know.
Yep.
So it's totally all you have to do is finish.
That one was like That's right. That's right.
All right.
Yeah, that one was all about like colors and things, but yeah. So it's Shenandoah's turn.
Yeah. Speaking of influences and things that have influenced us, I was fumbling through my wonderful lyric book down there, and I found this tune. It says I wrote it in 2008, so I'm gonna believe it. Because I don't.
Financial crisis.
Why would you make something like that up?
I don't think I have reason to.
Previous crisis.
But previous. Oh man, I didn't even think about that. Oh no. And the song's called Lightning Flashes, so maybe it was like a forbearing or a what do you call it?
Foreshadowing.
Thank you. My brain stopped working there. Because I'm looking for a pick that I don't find, but that's all right. I've got fingernails. All right.
Shenandoah Thompson. Yeah, Darren's got a pick for you.
See, teamwork. We got it.
He just threw it at you. It should appear in a minute.
Got it.
Soon we will have that kind of technology too. I hand it to him. Here you go. All right, Shenandoah Thompson, take it
Alrighty.
away.
Let's see if you guys can spot who influenced this one.
All right.
Can't remember what I said, so I think I'll hum instead. Maybe it's time to leave my bed, but this is where I'm calm. Looking outside, it's awful stormy. Wasn't like this at 6 this morning. Just came up without a warning, but somehow I am home. Oh, here comes the storm. Oh, here comes the storm. Can't keep still while the earth is shaking. All the while these strings keep breaking. Only one left holding me, and the wind is taking me away. Wow. Oh, here comes the storm. And lightning flashes. Oh, here's the storm. When you think about all this nonsense, looking at me like I'm your conscience, but don't get much more intense, cause I'm going mad. While I swear I'm regretting all these things I'm not forgetting. Maybe there's more than I've been letting on all along. Well, oh, here comes the storm. And lightning flashes. Oh, here's the storm. And lightning flashes. And thunder crashes. Oh, here's the storm.
Oh yeah.
Lightning flashes. Who do you? What are the bets? Who do you think is the influence?
I hear late '90s Dave Matthews.
Very much so. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
actually the riff
that's
is.
where I was going. Yeah.
The riff is totally kind of half stolen from the
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
number 41.
Number 41. Yeah.
We're letting on. We're telling people all the songwriter secrets, you know, and that's great because it cracks me up when people don't want to share the stuff, how they come by things. You know, I remember one time I wanted to learn one by U2 from a guy that I knew that was playing it at shows. It was like a new song at the time, and you couldn't look it up on the internet yet, you know, because it wasn't that time yet. And he wouldn't tell. He was like, "No, that's my song, man. I can't." I was like, "Okay, you know, whatever." Eventually, of course, I learned it anyway, you know. But it's like what. So it's. I think it's very cool the willingness with which people are sharing in general today in society with these kinds of things, but also under these circumstances, the expansion of empathy seems and sharing and openness seems to be counteracting how technology sort of blocks that to a degree. It makes it hard to connect in an energetic way with another human being when we're, especially now, separated by technology. But it's like we're all kind of making up for it, you know, and we were already getting prepped, and it's interesting to note that society was moving this direction, and now this whole pandemic putting literally half the planet into a space where we have to sit still and not go out and see people and be around people, and it's like we were being prepared by life, by the constant talk of be vulnerable. It's okay to not be okay. It's, be genuine and be yourself, be unique. All these kinds of things that have been trending, as we say, over the last year or more, and now it's just in time. So I think I find that promising. That's one of the things that gives me hope in the middle of such an occurrence as this, because this is going to change everything. There's no two ways about it, and this is an historic event that we're in the middle of, and we just hope that it's going to end soon. But we don't know what the outcome will be.
Yeah, Phil, I like that idea of the exclusive versus inclusive thing, because I do think it sort of flipped, and that's the reason I make music is really about making community and things. I would really much rather I'd rather have 3 or 4 people sitting like right here with me and making music and hanging out and talking, and that's one of the things I really like about what we're able to do through technology right now. I feel like I'm able to very directly connect like this with people who are listening to my music, and then I unmute them, and then we can all talk about it and joke. And if you saw my post from earlier today, I did a little live show, and a guy was like, "Hey, so can we play Parcheesi?" Why not? But we're all here to listen to me play music for a second, so let's do that. But yeah, I never wanted to be that guy who just came in on the stage, played my song, said thank you, good night, and then walked off stage and went backstage, and that was it. That's not what music is about. So
I'm in agreement. I am the guy that wants to not be talked to before I play anymore, because it saves my voice. But as soon as I'm done,
Sure.
I'm out there, So I tend to try and kind of hide out until I get up, which is hard to do a lot, because I'm often the one that's also presenting the show with other acts and that sort of thing.
right.
But I don't want to appear rude. So that being said, if anybody ever comes to my live show and I'm sitting off in a corner, or you can't find me because I'm in the green room, I'm not being rude. I'm just conserving my voice. Because afterwards, I'll talk my voice raw. Don't worry. So, Darren, what do you got to close this out?
You're pounding Thayer's lozenges.
Right. Yes, and exactly. See, and I have Thayer's lozenges. We've now widely plugged them. And you can go to the GBA Records.
We established.
You can get the
We
T-shirt.
established there is no cocaine in them, even though they're from 1847.
Right, they were made in 1847, but with slippery elm bark. That's the only active ingredient. Yep. And you can get that.
Sure.
You can get John Pierce guitar strings, acoustic and electric. Slippery elm.
Nobody really knows what slippery elm is, though. I think that's just what they called heroin in 1847.
Right. Maybe that's. Yeah.
Different.
I don't know. Elm bark was slang for laudanum. Yeah. I got some elm bark in it. So you can get,
they haven't got on to us yet. We're calling it.
And the strings, and you can get the T-shirt that Shenandoah is wearing on the GBA Records.com store. Patrons will get promo codes. We're just in the middle of changing that up a little bit, but all that stuff supports the record label, and thereby these guys keep all the money that they make from streaming. My brother Bob Jones is on the label. I just got him curated to Pandora. Darren's in the lineup. Shenandoah, you're next.
Nice.
And so, people who are watching this, listening to it, you're gonna be able to find all of us everywhere that you can find streaming music. So please go do that, because the label, aka me and my collaborator Kelfani, don't take anything from the artists for the work that we do to get their stuff out there. It doesn't cost a whole lot of money to actually do it and do it well. And that's the other thing is, we're all getting, getting everybody put onto like Spotify playlists and things like that. So we have like a whole plan of action, just like any record label, but we don't have 20 people to employ and whose jobs have to be justified by, creating work that one person could do.
We don't have Miatas to buy right now.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So, Darren, why don't you play us out with one?
Yeah, that'd be great. This will not be a mashup, although sometimes I do mash it up with another song. But the message we're getting, Phil, is basically see that T-shirt that Shenandoah is buying. Buy that. Get us on Pandora.
Exactly. That's how it works.
In summary, we would really appreciate it if people would subscribe, help us out with stuff. If you're a guitar player, you need strings.
Yep.
Why would you not buy strings from us?
Yep.
It'd be awesome. So this is an original song called Scattered. I'll just tell the little bring you into Shenandoah likes this song, I
love
guess.
this song.
Yeah. The little tidbit of songwriting wisdom that I have on this is the chord structure of this is actually the same as basically the whole chord progression of Collide by Howie Day. The chorus of this one is. Not the rest of it. And not lyrically, but that's just, maybe it's a coincidence. I don't know. Scattered. So this is a song about how, if you're feeling some pain about something that's going on that's really hurting you, it's probably because whatever that was really mattered. You were doing something that really mattered at that time, and you're feeling grief and sadness. So it's kind of okay. And there's a lot of Instagram, social media kind of references in it too, which I won't get into. But Scattered. Everything's better in black and white. They pull away the key from starting a fight. Hate the memories stuck in my head. Try to forget, the blood runs red. You live a dream that's in slow motion. You see the end before it even starts. Replaying all my wrong answers, much too late. When it all slowly falls to fate, and I'm scattered. If it doesn't hurt, it didn't matter. And I'm scattered. Scattered. Looking back with all your filters on, changing colors to make out see all wrongs and rights and love and loss. To bridge the years I can't see across, 'cause I'm scattered. If it doesn't hurt, it didn't matter. I'm scattered. Scattered. Memories of what might have been leave me here inside my head. It doesn't really make a difference, right or wrong. 'Cause I'm scattered. If it doesn't hurt, it didn't matter. I'm scattered. Scattered. Oh, I'm scattered. Oh, it didn't matter. Should've known better. didn't matter. You and I collide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was chatting with Phil while you were playing. I said this song means a lot to me because whenever I'm feeling like down, and I like to try to put it on and just sing it out, shout it out, blast it in the
Yeah.
car where nobody can hear me, just yell and cry and feel a little bit better. Instant
Oh, that's
heartwarm.
awesome. That's awesome. That's exactly what we look for as songwriters, isn't it?
That's the truth, man. That's
Only
the
thing.
truth. Yeah, it's such a great message, Darren, and what a perfect way to end our little episode. GBA saves the day today. If it didn't hurt, it didn't matter. You know, it's such in so many other ways that same thing can be put. We will not be victorious in spite of hardship. We will be victorious because of hardship.
Woo.
So, all right, guys, I'm going to stop the recording device here. Everybody, thank you for checking us out. PhilCircleMusic.com, DarrenJellisonMusic.com, ShannondoraThompson.com, GuiltByAssociationRecords.com, or just look us up wherever you find this. It'll all be in there. And go listen to everybody everywhere and tell all your friends. Peace.